right. Boom. Let's do this on the grid view so I can see everybody. All right, we're going to start lying on your back. Just take a Shavasana to start. Just relax everything. Start to let all this stuff go. Begin to follow the rhythm of your breathing. And wherever you are, big breath in, big breath out, let it go. And again like that, fill all the way up. And let some of your nonsense out. Just let it go. And bring both knees up into your chest. Give a squeeze, rocking forward and back, a little side to side. And keep your right knee in, but take your left leg long to the end of your mat. Point your toes away. Keep your heel just maybe an inch off the ground. And then pick up your shoulders, forehead toward your right knee. Not reaching all the way, but you have a good solid foundation. Everything engaged in here. Just a couple breaths. The left heel's off the knee, right knee squeezing in. And then really slowly and with control, go ahead and switch them. Again, pointing your right toes, heel off the ground. Engaged in your core, lifting up your shoulders, looking forward. And then really controlled, go ahead and switch. Just one in. And then exhale, switch. And then inhale to switch. Exhale, switch. And keep going like this. Just moving a little side to side. And this will start to warm you up in your hips and your core and your breath. But more importantly is just matching your movements to the length of your breath. Slow and steady does it. Just take one more round each side. And bring both knees in, give a squeeze. See how close you can get your forehead toward your knees. Really round through your back. Yeah, and relax everything down back to your Shavasana. Lying down, let it go. Nice, and plant the soles of your feet about as wide as your mat. And start to windshield wiper your knees right to left. Really slow, nothing too strenuous here, just allowing those hips that we've warmed now just to get a little motion, a little opening space in there. I start to come back to center and really slowly pick yourself up to a seat. Nice. And root down on your sit bones. That's the bones that you sit with, as opposed to the tailbone. We kind of, when we lean back, to have a tendency to rest on the two sit bones and then back on the tailbone here. See if you can leave your tailbone out of it. So you come up tall with your torso, root down your sit bones. Plant your hands down, and then start to lift maybe one leg up, maybe shin parallel to the mat, and then the other one. And see if Rather than thinking, okay, I'm gonna make a V shape for my Navasana, for my bow pose, see if you can tilt right on your sit bones. And that would mean that, yeah, you probably don't have as nice an angle to look at on Instagram or something, but the key here, on the sit bones, be really engaged here. Maybe you can float both heels, roll your shoulders back, and then maybe start to float your hands. Keep a lift through your sternum, everything floated. And one more inhale. The exhale, release. Plant your hands behind you, maybe 6 inches, 12 inches, something like that. Plant the soles of your feet down. On an inhale, lift your hips up, find a reverse tabletop. It's gonna expand everything you just activated with the core work. Just pick your hips up to the sky, maybe even let your head lay back. One more inhale here. Exhale, release your bum down. Come right up to your Navasana, your bow pose. See about balancing on your sit bones. Yeah. It doesn't have to be strength. It doesn't have to be legs straight and arms straight and looking all shiny and cool. You just find that balance point. Focus on that. And one more in. Exhale, release. Plant your hands, lift right up into your reverse tabletop. Big inhale here. Exhale, release it down. Right to Navasana. Inhale, lift your hands and feet. Exhale, release down. Press up. On the inhale, hips up. Exhale, release. And keep moving like this. Inhale to expand in Navasana. Exhale to release. Inhale to expand, reverse tabletop. Exhale, release. And keep moving like this. And again, there's a tendency in the body weight movement fitness type mindset that this needs to be hard and engaging and be a really strenuous workout. But see if just for now, you can focus on the pace of your breath rather than the movements that you're making. Yeah, keep moving just like that. Nice. Take one more round wherever you are. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Come back to lying on your back. Now, plant the sole of your left foot down, so your knee is up to the sky, and set your right ankle over top your left thigh or the left knee. Nice. Now, reach your arms around your left leg, either to the back of the thigh, maybe even to the front of the shin, and get a solid connection there. Yeah, and then allow the weight of your shoulders softening back to bring your legs in, rather than muscular effort. As you draw in the left leg and then subsequently the right heel as well. See about letting your right knee splay out to the right. And keep your legs as they are, but release your hands. So you can even set your left foot back down, but keep this figure 4 tied up motion or configuration of your legs. Bring your right foot and your left knee out to the left. So maybe your right foot down to the ground. Keep softening your shoulders back. There's a lot of options here for this twisted up pretzel looking pose. You can stay just like this, just with the leg over and across. If you want some more, maybe left hand to your right foot, maybe start to draw it in a little bit closer. And then maybe even right hand to left foot behind you. And draw your heel up toward your bum. Yeah, it might take you a couple moments to find just the right spot for you. When you do, soften your shoulders back and let this feeling happen in your hips, insides, outsides of the hips and groin. Find a place where you feel some tension, some stretch here. For some of us, it's harder. For others, it's very apparent. You just be where you are in your practice and breathe there. Take just about 5 more breaths just like this. See if you can keep that tension, that edge. Play with it. If you got your feet in your hands, really gently release. Start to unwind your legs, come back to lying on your back. Draw your knees in toward your chest. Give them a squeeze again and see what's different here. The second time through this pose and just see what's changed. And take your legs out long to the end of your mat. Point your toes, keep your heels just off the ground. Yeah, and then lift your hands long overhead. And maybe your hands stay off the ground as well. It's going to take a lot of engagement in your center. Front, back, side to side in your center, in your abdomen. One inhale here. Exhale, draw your knees back in, squeeze around. Do it again. Inhale, reach out long. Exhale, squeeze it all in. Shoulders off the ground, forehead forward. Again, inhale, reach long. Exhale, move in. Inhale, move out. Exhale, move in. And keep going like this, just a few more breaths. Seeing about keeping the rhythm of your breath steady. And then from there, the motions in your body stay steady. Nice, take one more round. Squeeze your knees in the exhale. And plant your right foot down, left ankle over top your right thigh or the right knee there. And reach around your right leg. Start to draw it back with the weight of your shoulders. Take a moment just to feel what there is here. And then release your hands. Bring your right foot down to the mat. And then your left foot and your right knee over to the right. And then again, your variation that's right for you. Maybe right hand to left foot. Maybe left hand to right foot behind. And maybe none of that. Maybe the twist alone is where you need to be. Just a few more. Stay in. Breathe here. And then really gently start to release. Unwind back to center. Knees in. Start a little rocking forward and back. Get a few rocks through and then come up to a seat. Nice. And get your feet out behind you. Come to a tabletop. Nice. Palms beneath your shoulders, knees beneath your hips. And set your hips back toward your heels, a child's pose, just for an exhale. Inhale, bring it forward. See about a little more weight in your wrists, slight bend in your elbows, bring your chest forward. And bring it back, child's pose, exhale. Inhale forward, chest forward, strong arms. Exhale back, child's pose. Inhale forward. This time take your chest up. Relax your hips down and forward toward your wrists. You're still on your knees. Yeah, draw your shoulders back, chest forward. It's like a modified upward facing dog. Just a passive release for all of that front work we've just done. Just let it relax. And gently pick your hips back up. Walk your hands forward, maybe a hand's distance ahead of where they are now. Sit your bum back toward your heels and tuck your toes under. Nice, so all this is prep work. Now, you got your bum reaching back toward your heels, toes tucked under, lift your knees just a couple inches off the ground. Keep pressing your hips back like your arms are in downward facing dog. So your strong arms straightened out, lengthen your spine. And breathe. Really strong in your palms. See about lifting the muscles in your armpits. Lift them up and away from the ground, but keep pressing your hips back toward your heels. And then gently set your knees back down. Come forward, that modified upward facing dog. Knees down, shoulders back. Big inhale here. Exhale, release, tuck your toes under. Straighten out your arms and lift your knees just a couple inches off the ground. And one more inhale here. Stay for the exhale. Look forward, bring your weight forward to a high plank, slow and steady. Inhale. Exhale, take it back, knees almost to the ground. Again, inhale forward, high plank. Exhale, bend your knees, set your hips back. And once more, inhale forward. Exhale back, set your knees down, take a child's pose. Now you've got a lot of activity going into your hips just now with those movements. It's hips and shoulders, palms, even back down to the base of your feet. See if you can keep reaching your sit bones back toward your heels. See what new space you can find in the hips here. Start to lift yourself up into your tabletop. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Nice, and then torso up tall, both hands to your knee or your thigh, or your hips. Yeah, and just start to press your hips forward. And keep your torso up tall, tail slight tuck in the tailbone, just to keep that length. Just give a gentle pressure forward. And start to release your hips all the way back toward your left heel. You find yourself in a half split. All the way back, straighten out your right leg. Nice, first time through, doesn't need to be deep, doesn't need to be anything. You just see where you're at. Flex your right toes back toward you, reaching with your sternum forward. And start to walk your hands forward. Plant your right foot, hands to your knee, hips forward. Just a few breaths. Press down to the top of your back foot. That's your left foot. Keep pressing back in there. And one more in. Exhale, that half split. Hips go back, toes come up, peel toward your face. Yeah, maybe you can go in a little bit deeper this time. Maybe a little more activation from your sit bone to your heel. And then last time, walk your hands forward onto your knee, hips forward. Nice, and draw your hips back maybe halfway between your right heel and your left knee. Just find that happy middle ground. Nice. Reach your hands up tall and keep your tailbone reaching down, hips square. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take an open arm twist to the right. Nice. So if that means you're facing away from me, I'll just try to be really good about my words so you can tell what we're doing. And keep drawing forward with your right knee, right hand back and open. See about unshrugging your shoulders. Breathe in. If you need a little bit more, you can tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee just a couple inches off the ground. And as you press back with your left foot, forward with your left, also squeeze your legs toward one another, toward the center line of your body. They're squeezing inward at the same time. And gently set your left knee down. If it's up, untuck your left toes. Bring your right hand back to the back of your left leg. Left fingertips go up really high. Yeah, and then keep pressing your hips forward, just like we did in that last motion between what do we call it, the half split and the hips forward. Keep pressing your hips forward, reaching your sternum up and away. Nice, one more inhale here. Exhale, release your hands down. Come to a high plank. You step your right leg back, right to your high plank. Nice, shift your weight forward into your palms. Walk your feet together and then turn both heels to the left, your right fingertips up to the sky. Take this side plank, and if that means left knee down for you, that's cool too. Left knee stays down. You stay really strong in your center, long in your spine. See about finding your breath again. Take one more inhale, peel your right shoulder open a little bit more. Exhale, release down, knees down, come back to a child's pose. So we're looking to take a really passive position between some of these more active things for the muscles, just to allow all the connective tissues to enjoy the new space. After activation, then a little relaxation, and just try to enjoy it with your breath. And then again, come up to your tabletop. This time, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Both hands to your left knee. And press forward with your hips. Active into the top of your right foot. You're still pressing down, hips drawing forward. Relax your shoulders back. And then start to come out of it. Find that half split. Hips back, left toes pick up. You're really active in your hamstring there. And then we go back to the front. Walk your hands forward, left knee, press hips in. Maybe even find a little bit more lift with your sternum. Your shoulders back. One more in. Exhale, set it back, half split. Keep reaching your left sit bone back, left toes back toward your face. Reaching with your sternum rather than rounding with your forehead forward. And then walk your hands forward. Plant your left foot. I'll switch around so we can see each other here. Nice. Last time through, hands to your knee and press forward into your hips. Nice. And then you draw back about halfway between heel and knee. Get really tall through your sides. Reach up. Really tall on an inhale. Exhale. Make it an open arm twist to the left. Your left hand goes back, right hand forward. See about unshrugging your shoulders. Letting this twist come from around your center. And then actively drawing your legs toward the midline, toward the center of your body, in toward one another. Yeah, it's going to make things burn. Just be in it. And if you want more, maybe tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee just a couple inches off the ground. Steady your breath. Make this really active the next couple. And gently set your right knee down. If it's lifted, untuck the toes. Right hand to the back of your left knee. Left hand to the back of your right knee. Right hand up to the sky. And keep moving forward with your hips, back with your chest. One more inhale, get really tall with the hand. Exhale, release right back to plank pose. Tilt forward onto your tiptoes, really strong in your palms, both heels to the right, left fingertips up to the sky. Have a side plank here. Stay really active in your palm, lifting your hips up to the sky. Nice, one more in. Exhale, gently release back to your child's pose. Take your knees out wide, toes toward one another, rest it back. A few breaths to bring your gentle pace back into the breath. And then start to lift up through your tabletop. Plant your hands down, tuck your toes under, and build your downward facing dog. Yeah, I do mean build it. You can take some movement once you're there, pedal your feet, sway your hips, maybe shake your head. Work your way into the pose. Come to find some stillness, reaching down with your heels, sit bones up high to the sky, keep your arms really long. See about tucking your low ribs in, draw those guys in. And bring a little bit more bend to your knees, walk your hands back to your feet, take a forward fold at the back of your mat. Yeah, maybe a little more bend to your knees, a little more relaxation in your spine. Just let it fold over. Nice. Bend your knees a little bit more. Start to walk your hands forward. Come back to your downward facing dog. Just a moment to settle into the pose. Get your hands and feet right where you like them. And then take your right leg long to the sky. Inhale to reach. Exhale, knee to your nose. Bring your weight forward. Step it through. Set your left knee down. Keep your hips reaching forward. Keep your hips really far forward. But start to lift your torso up high. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, you're going to come back to the half split, just like we did at the beginning. You straighten out your right leg. Set your hips back. Nice. Inhale, start to bring your weight forward. Plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Nice, and we'll try the other side, so you can get kind of a rhythm here. Left leg long, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, step forward. Right knee down, hips stay down, reach up high, inhale. Exhale, half split. Sit your bum back, left toes, flex toward. Inhale, bring it forward, plant your hands. And the exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Just big breath in. Settle it out. Again, inhale, right leg long. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through. Left knee down, hips stay forward, reach up high. Inhale. Exhale, half split. Inhale, weight forward, plant your hands. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice, left leg long, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, step, right knee down. Reach up, inhale. Exhale, half split. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Yeah, once you get there, right away, inhale, right leg long. Exhale, step it through. Knee down, reach up. Exhale, half split, all the way back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, downward facing. That next inhale, left leg goes long. Exhale, step it through. Knee down, inhale, reach up. Exhale, half split. Inhale, weight forward. Plant your hands, exhale, downward facing dog. One more round, take it through. Right leg long, inhale. Exhale to step. Knee down, reach up. Half split. Inhale, come forward. Downward facing dog. That same inhale, reach long, left leg. Exhale, step. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, half split. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. And settle into the pose. Active palms, spread your fingers out wide. See about drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Low ribs up and in, tailbone up high. I know, it's a lot to think about. It's like golf. So many things to think about, and you gotta breathe. And after a while practicing these poses, it becomes more or less autopilot, and you can focus on the breath. Slow the breath. Steady the breath. Start to shift your weight forward to a high plank. Set your knees down, then the rest of you all the way down. Nice. Press into your palms, draw your elbows toward one another. Inhale to lift your chest. Exhale, release. Walk your hands back maybe 6 inches or so. Do it again. Inhale to lift your chest. Exhale here. And again, inhale to lift. This time stay a few rounds. Strong legs, pressing the tops of your feet down into the mat. If you notice that the feet are floating, see about releasing your butt muscles. Yeah, front of the legs strong. Low back strong. Neck light. One more in. Exhale, release. All right, it's just a moment back down on the ground. And start to pick it back up. Lift from your chest. Press your legs firmly down to the ground. Press your hands down to the ground. Roll your shoulders onto your back. Find that lift from the chest. Relaxing your neck though. You can stay here or maybe squeeze your legs in toward one another and start to lift off the ground. And notice if to do that, you squeeze up your butt. You just release the butt. See if you can do this with leg muscles alone. No glutes here. Easier said than done. Keep breathing. One more in. Exhale, release. Press it back to a child's pose. All right, it's just a moment. Maybe a little wiggle right to left. Come back up to a tabletop and take your left fingertips up high to the sky. So everything else stays the same. Left fingertips go up high. Peel open your chest. Big inhale. Exhale, send your left arm underneath your right, out to the right, and maybe you can sit down, elbow, maybe even the outside of your shoulder. Yeah. Let go what's holding you up by 50%. See if you can just let gravity take you 50% more. And start to come back through center, back to your tabletop. This time take the right hand way up, peel open, inhale. Exhale, send it underneath your left arm out to the left and rest on your forearm, maybe your shoulder, maybe your head can lay down as well. And then start to bring it back to your tabletop. And step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. This time, keep both hands down. Here, I'll shift myself so we can see. Hands plant to the inside. Nice. Turn your right toes just a little bit out to the right. And see if you can keep from rolling on to the pinky toe side. Don't let that happen yet. I know it's itchy in my practice. I really want to go there. As soon as the toe goes out, I want to let it go. See if you can keep the knee in, foot planted down. Start to press hips forward. Reach through your chest. So this may mean you're on fingertips. If you have props, you'd like to be up a little bit further. Just find length in your spine. Knee, the right knee is going to continue to move over the right ankle forward. Really active in your left leg, pressing your left foot down. Rolling shoulders back, lift your chest up high and steady your breath. And start to release down onto your hands. Release the engagement in your hips and your leg. Rest on your left hand. And just like we did before in the tabletop, take your right fingertips up to the sky. Inhale to peel open, draw the right hip back. Exhale, bring your right forearm as close as you can to the ground. For some people, that's next to the knee. For some people, it's all the way down. It doesn't matter. You find where's right for you. Again, inhale, reach your right hand way up. And again, exhale, forearm as close as you can get it down to the ground. And once more, inhale, reach up. Exhale, forearm down. And if it can rest on the floor, keep it there on the floor. Maybe the other one can join it. If that means you're on props, that's cool too. If your forearms are nowhere near the ground, palms is fine. Just allow your elbows to bend and sort of fold into the stretch. Keep pressing down into the right foot. Keep your spine relaxed. Wherever you went, start to lift yourself up. Encourage your right knee back in toward the center and lift up hands to knee, just like we were before. Nice. And from here, you're going to take your right hand to your right knee. That's good where it is. Bring your left hand, that crease between thumb and forefinger, and fit it right between where your glute meets your thigh or your glute meets your hamstring on your left side. Some call it a thigh butt, some call it a thut. It's just fun words. All right, so find that spot, get your thumb crease in there, and press that down as you bring your hips forward. And at the same time, start to straighten out your right arm so you bring your chest back. So it's active down with the left arm, straighten out with the right arm, chest up and back. Yeah, and if you're feeling a lot right now, you're supposed to. That's the deal. It's in the hips. Hold a lot of nonsense in the hips. Just stay for the next few breaths. One more inhale, stay with it. Exhale, gently release. Come back to a tabletop and take a little gentle movement. Shoulders and hips, just let things recoil. And then feel a little bit of gratitude. Yay, we have two sides. Yay, two sides. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Turn your left toes just a little bit out to the left, but keep the foot pressing down. Not going to roll onto the side yet. Start to bring your hips forward, your chest up and through your shoulders. And if that means you come up a little bit higher onto props or maybe fingertips, that's cool too. Just keep a lot of length. Strong in your right foot, pressing into the ground. And plant your right hand down. Bring your left fingertips up high to the sky. Peel open across. Exhale your left forearm as close as you can get it down to the ground. First one, let it be gentle. Inhale, reach back up, open up. Exhale, forearm down, maybe a little bit closer this time. And last time through, inhale, way up. Exhale, as close as you can get that forearm down to the mat. If it reaches, maybe you can rest on it. Come down to your right forearm as well, or any of those variations. Maybe this means up on your hands. Just allow your weight to bring you forward into your hips. Keeping to your breath, moving really slowly lift up and out. Both hands to your left knee, back to this one knee position we had before. And then the crease of your right first finger and thumb finds that crease between hamstring and glute on the right side. Start to straighten out your left arm and lean your torso back. Pressing down with right arm, forward with left arm, and back with your chest. And stay in the challenge. If you're feeling a lot, you're supposed to feel a lot. One more in. Exhale, release nice and slow back to a tabletop, and take any of that movement that you like in between just to wiggle it out. Nice. Just a few more breaths to move around in these newly opened hips. Maybe something's a little sore, maybe something feels a little bit better, whatever it is, you just be aware of that. And start to come forward. I'm just standing up on your knees. For some of us, it's much more comfortable to roll over the mat a couple times. A little bit of cushion for the knees. And plant your knees about hip distance apart. Press the tops of your feet down into the mat. So you start by leaning your weight back just to get really active in your legs. So be really active in your quads, your hamstrings, pressing down into your feet. Yeah, just add a little weight back there. Then bring your hands to your low back, maybe even the top of your hips, in the sacrum area. Nice. On an inhale, reach up through your sternum, shoulders back. Exhale, press your hips forward and start to lean back into your legs. Lean your chest up and back. Nice. First round can be really gentle. Maybe just a little gentle bend. Feel the opening in your front body. Everything that was activated before, now just let it be relaxed. And then to come back, bring your hips back, then your chest up, then your chin forward. And you can either stay standing on your knees a few breaths or sit your weight back under your heels. Somewhere for the spine to recoil, find neutral. Nice. And then second round, here we go. Up onto your knees. Start by adding a little weight back into the legs. Lean your weight back. Yeah, hands to your low back, maybe even the sacrum. Inhale to lift up through your chest, shoulders together. Exhale, press hips forward, lean yourself back. And if you're really open in this, maybe you can bring your hands down to your heels. Less so you can rest on them, but more so you give a little bit more room for your hips to press forward, chest to come back. And then start to bring your hips back, chest up, chin forward. Find a place to rest, just a couple of breaths. And we'll take our third round back bend variation here. You can have any of those variations we've done before, hands to the hips or to your low back. Inhale to lift up, press hips forward, maybe even hands back to your heels. If you're feeling really groovy about a back bend right now, maybe you can bring your hands to center in front of you as you lean your weight back. Stay strong in the legs, lift through your sternum, hips press forward. And really, really gently start to bring yourself out. Set back onto your heels or onto a prop. Just a moment, let the spine come back to neutral. Nice. Now, to transition a little bit toward a twist, we'll add just a little bit of back bend with a little bit more twist. So you can stand up on your knees, bring your left hand back to your left heel. Nice. Then press your hips forward and reach your right hand up high to the sky. And maybe your gaze can go down to your right hand. Just a little bit of back bend, adding in a little bit of twist. Let this be soft in the spine itself, but really active the rest of the pose. And gently back to center and take the other side. Right hand down, hips forward, left hand up high. And release. Back to center and come back to a child's pose. Really nice thing about child's pose, it's a neutral spine. So you're not too far forward, not too far back. Just allow the spine to take rest a few breaths. And then start to lift yourself up. And come to sitting on your bum. Heels around, legs out straight in front of you. This first couple of moments in a seated pose, keep your knees bent. And no need to straighten out and lock everything out. Just keep it nice and soft. Inhale to lift up tall with your sternum. Exhale, bring yourself forward, and maybe you can walk your hands forward, maybe even like squeeze around your thighs and backs of your knees. Really gentle here. And after a few breaths, you'll notice that your spine will naturally start to release. You just let gravity do the work here. It's important for the balance in the spine to do enough forward fold to balance out the back bend. So stay here another few breaths because we spent a little bit of time in our back bend. But more important than that time is the transition time between back bend to forward fold. So anytime you're in a class and you're cueing back bends, anything really strenuous for the spine one way, you want to give it some time to relax before you go folding the other way. Just a couple more breaths. If you feel like straightening out your legs, can be really nice added stretch in the hamstrings and the low back. And then really, really gently, one vertebra at a time, roll all the way back up. Tall with your spine and take a little movement, take a little wiggly jello movement. Twisting forward and back, maybe shoulder rolls. Nice. And then all the way back onto your back. And then just like we started, bring your right knee into your chest. And give it a squeeze around. Maybe a little rocking side to side. And just see what's different. What's changed in the past 50 minutes or so from the last time you did this. And start to bring your right knee across your body out to the left. Bring your shoulders back and reach your right arm out to the right. So we did a little back bending, we did a little forward folding. Now we have a really passive, can't emphasize that enough, really passive twist. You just let gravity do the work here. You focus your breath on releasing the muscles around the spine. And then when you're ready, take it to the other side. Start with left knee in, a little bit of squeeze, maybe a little bit of movement. And then take it across. Start to unwind and slowly set up for your final rest. Maybe that means a little more wiggly movement, maybe it means another little stretch, or maybe you just settle right down in your Shavasana. Start to allow your breath to bring you back in. Before you make any movements at all, just the breath. Start to add some movement back, fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Take a big stretch up overhead, reach from fingers to toes, feel all the way up. And let it go. Nice. And come up to a seat, however that's going to be comfortable for you. Just take a moment to sit. All these hip opening things, all these spinal twists, lengthening, squeezing, stretching, all that. It's really just a preparation for the seated meditation at the end. But typically we don't have enough time for that in class, so I'll trust that you're going to do your seated meditation after class, right? Relax your shoulders, spine up tall, slight tuck with your chin. If you like hands together in front of you, that's cool too. Universal sign of gratitude. I've been learning a lot in this time of isolation, not only about life stuff and isolation, but specifically learning yoga, the old text, the old ways. And so it's been more and more apparent to me how really old this practice is. So just if you could take a moment just to have a little gratitude for all of the teachers that have passed this thing down all the way to us.
And together, one big inhale. Open them up and let it go. I wish you all the safety and happiness and sanity in this craziness. Be gentle to your hips. There's a lot of work going in. Just be nice and gentle. Drink water, go slow. All those things in me, all those things in you. Namaste.